with us, you'll be welcomed by uh, an esteemed team members who are well qualified. And I actually want to say that I'm very, very privileged to have grown in those good hands. So Agimba and Associates is one of the leading firms in Kenya.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. So we will delve right into it because I know the listener is really looking forward to this conversation. And I know it's something that we can have this conversation over and discuss and get to learn more insights regarding this. And so I want to give you this opportunity just to give us a definition, because somebody would want to know what we mean when we say consumer rights. What does it entail, and why are they important for people to know these rights?
Yes, definitely. Thank you very much. I'll be very, very brief and make it targeted to the consumer, to the lay person. So when we talk about consumer rights, we are talking number one about, we are talking first and foremost about the right of knowing or accessing information about the goods and or services that you are going to get in exchange of either your money or whatever sort of transaction that may be there. So when you look at consumer protection, look at it as a holistic way of your right of knowing in totality what you're buying or what you're entitled to get in return. Yes.
And so on a daily basis, we do purchases. We go to a certain shop, we buy products, and there are moments we also get to a place where we can be given services, and so on and so forth. And so I would like to find out then, what are some of the common issues or challenges that consumers face here in Kenya when it comes to their rights, especially as consumers?
Definitely. One of the things that I'd like to point out about in as far as consumer protection is concerned, vis-a-vis the citizens, is number one, the lack of information. Because I'll just use this by giving an illustration. You may go to a shop, decide to buy a kilogram of sugar, and maybe the person who is supposed to weigh that sugar does the same behind some enclosure where you cannot see the whole transaction. So what will Kenyans do? The common Mwananchi will just assume that in fact that that sugar has in fact reached a kilogram, but in real sense the shopkeeper may have their own interest and decide to reduce and sell to you, say, weighing at 950 grams instead of that 1 kilogram. So the biggest thing is that the consumer will not complain, or they will find no big issue with it. So they'll just say that is normal, I trust you, and I'll go with my packet of sugar in exchange of my money. So that is one of the biggest things that has really or is really prevalent in Kenya. And I think Kenyans need to shift their mindset by knowing that the power is in their hands. They have that right of demanding. And if you don't demand, then the person who is offering the goods and or services is really not under the obligation. And I will just expound on that at a later stage. Because now, as the laws are set, it is incumbent upon you as the consumer to ensure that the goods and services that you're getting are in fact fit for purpose and consumption, and that what you're getting is what has been advertised. So that is one of the biggest things that we have. And then number two is Kenyans, for whatever reason, there has been a very big emergence of these counterfeit industries. We normally know the same as Kariobangi light industries, where anything and everything is manufactured from there, and by the time it gets to the market and it floods the market, it is going to be sold at a fraction of what is supposed to be sold at. And you see, that is something that, for whatever reason, and I said maybe it may be economical or whatever, someone will opt for that cheaper good, and buy that product that doesn't have a guarantee. And in case they suffer harm and or loss, it may become difficult for them then to seek redress, as has been provided for in the Competition Act, because the issue, and we really have to be very, very thankful to God about the Constitution that we have, because one of the biggest thing that it has done under Article 46 is to ensure that the topic or the issue about consumer protection has been adequately covered. And the Constitution itself has then mandated the legislature to come up with rules and regulations and acts that will then give effect to Article 46, and that is where the Competition Authority comes in, and then by extension the Competition Act. So the biggest thing is, I'll summarize by saying, one, lack of awareness. We really, the information has really not disseminated to the common mwananchi. And then number two, the proliferation of counterfeit industries in Kenya. So that becomes really a big issue. Yes.
Yes, I have learned that you have alluded to laws governing matters to do with consumer rights, and so there are specific laws and guidelines, of course, regulations here in Kenya that protect consumer rights. Could you kindly elaborate further on that so that we can actually have a picture of what that entails?
Definitely, definitely. When we talk about consumer protection laws, majorly when it comes to products generally, the Competition Authority that has been established by the Competition Act is one of the leading bodies that has been mandated and bequeathed the power to oversee all the industries and service providers, to ensure that at the very least that they comply with the provisions of Article 46 and the regulations therein. And then number two, as I said, as Kenya continues to grow, both financially and population-wise, there has come a need for more bodies to be introduced, and that is where KEBS comes in, which really has been introduced by virtue of the Standards Act. We'll talk about again the Communications Authority, which has been established by virtue of the Communications Act. So when we talk about the regulations in Kenya, I'd want to firmly assert that I feel that we have enough. The regulations and the bodies are enough. It is just a matter of compliance from us, both from us and the enforcers, and the goodwill. I'll just say generally the goodwill from the industry players. Yes.
It's very interesting. Earlier on, you had mentioned that with the lack of an awareness, when I go to this shop or this supermarket, I buy this product, I don't know whether it is the right kilograms I am purchasing, or even to that other extent of trying to buy goods that are cheaper, but we don't know whether they have gone through the process of checking their quality and all that. I'm wondering now, is it now our part as Kenyans, whenever we have these products at home, we try to ensure that they are the right, in terms of measurement, weight, and all that? Is it now our part? Could you play our part in that way, trying to ensure that it is the set standard, or we'll just leave it to the the authorities that have been, or the enforcers that are given the charge to do that?
No, at the moment as it is, it is actually our responsibility as Kenyans or as the consumer of the product to ensure that, in fact, that product has met the minimum requirements that you wanted. So that, for example, if you wanted to get a kilogram of sugar, which is white and maybe small crystals when you buy, you had that legitimate expectation that the whatever you're buying will fit the characteristics of what you had in mind, and that is what was advertised. So it is incumbent upon you to ensure that whatever you get is in fact what you wanted to get to begin with. And that means if it's a kilogram of sugar, and I'll tell you from experience, and that's what I do, I literally have a weighing scale, a digital weighing scale, so that if you get something, and I've seen Kenyans have really become so, once in a while, they literally do the weighs and they share what they have seen, so that if I'm to get a kilogram and I get less, I may just decide and share for the fun of it, but in real sense, what I'm supposed to do is to lodge an official complaint with the competition authority and state that in fact company X has misled me, because I was to get a kilogram of sugar or two, but instead over here you can see I have only 800 grams of sugar. And I can tell you from experience, and I think that is something that we'll talk later about, once you report, they do take action. The ball will start rolling immediately. Yes, so it's something to do with us. You have to be aware as a consumer that you whatever you're going to get is what you expected. Yes.
Bwana Wakili, I'm interested to find out now, in your practice, I know at some point or the other you have met clients who have shared with you their experience with probably a fake product or a product that did not meet the expectations. And I would like to find out, do you have any successful cases of where consumers asserted and their rights, asserted their rights rather, and won?
Yes.
Can you share with us?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. There are so many cases. I'll maybe just give one experience that I know, and that is concerning a gentleman called Ezra. And the beauty about such cases these days, they are posted digitally, so the information can be gotten from the competition authority's website. So the gentleman, just before Tuskys collapsed, they had so many branches. One was in Pioneer, there was another one in Westlands. There were just so many. So there was this gentleman that I know who went to purchase, who in fact did his shopping well, and when he reached the till, he missed a digit, but that money was supposed to go to Tuskys Pioneer, but unfortunately it ended up going to Tuskys Westlands branch, you see. So the surprising thing was the attendants over there and the management didn't want to refund him his money, so they told him that is your mistake. So we have no access to the accounts of Tuskys Westlands, and you can't leave here with the goods, you see. So in essence, you're saying you wanted Ezra to leave Tuskys Pioneer having deposited money in your account. That was in 2016. In your account, it's a Tuskys franchise, and you wanted him to leave without the goods, you see. So what did this wise gentleman do? He sought our counsel. We advised him, and we told him how that complaint can be escalated. And in fact, it was escalated, and the competition authority intervened and issued a directive to Tuskys to immediately remedy that mishap. So in fact, Ezra was given back his money, and on top of that, as a way of saying sorry, because now it's a big thing, you can go with the shopping that you're supposed to get, you see. So you can see this is someone who decided and said, to me, it is not about that 4,000 shillings that I was to spend. He said that even if it takes 1 year for me to pursue this case and ensure that I get my remedial action, I will do it. And he did it within 1 year. Yes.
So indeed, there are cases that
Yes.
have been, taken to court, and justice has been served.
Yeah, justice has been served.
All right.
And I'll actually want to, sorry for cutting you short, when you have a complaint, it is important for the consumers to appreciate that the first course of action is not going to court. The process is actually very, very cheap, and it has been made accessible deliberately so that everyone can be able to lodge that complaint. So when you have an issue with either a service provider or someone who sold you goods, you just simply do a letter to the competition authority, and the competition authority will do its own investigation, because that is an office that is being funded by our taxpayers, the taxpayers' money. So they'll just do their own investigations, require for more evidence if need be, and then issue directives, remedial directives, depending on what would have been placed before the board. So if in any event you feel as though you're aggrieved by the decision of the competition authority, still again you don't go to court, you escalate it through their tribunal. So they have a tribunal that sits as an appellate court, so to speak, to oversee and review, if need be, decisions that have been issued by the authority. Yes. So it's a very simple exercise. Yes.
All right. Thank you. You are opening our eyes, especially when it comes to services and goods that we want to receive or we would want to enjoy. And then somewhere along the line, we find ourselves that our rights have been violated. Then it is up to us to make up our minds and follow the due process and see how best we can be assisted. Well, I want to appreciate all of you who are watching us. We are also live on Facebook as well as on X and on YouTube. Yes, Irene, I've seen you there, as well as a gentleman here, unaitwa Chokora M. Msafi. Yes, mtumishi Mbarikiwa Petro, thank you so much for listening in as well. We have an opportunity for you to ask your questions regarding consumer rights. Yes, you might have had an experience, a nasty one, with a certain industry player, and you are wondering, what should I do now? What steps should I take in order to ensure that this solution, or I find a solution, or this situation has been remedied? What do you need to do? So you want to stay here, we'll give you actually we'll give you an opportunity to ask your questions. Go ahead and do so. Send your question to 20933, or you could WhatsApp on 0717400555. And tonight I am hosting this one gentleman has been a blessing to us, and his name is Advocate Perry Kigodi, who is helping us to understand more about matters to do with consumer rights. Once again, 20933 on SMS line, on WhatsApp 0717400555, across our social media platforms at Hope FM Live, and you will be assisted.
Did you know the Friends of Hope is an initiative of Hope Media? Through this initiative, we are able to partner with others who are keen to ensure that we keep hope alive. Through your support, we are sharing the hope we have with many others who are yet to embrace hope. You too can become a part of this initiative today. Send your contribution of any amount to M-Pesa paybill number 933933. Account name Friends of Hope. For more information regarding Friends of Hope, please email friendsofhope@hopefm.org or SMS FOH to 20933. Join Friends of Hope today. Friends of Hope, keeping hope alive. Another quality service from Christ is the answer. Did you know the Friends of Hope is an initiative of Hope Media? Through this initiative, we are able to partner with others who are keen to ensure that we keep hope alive. Through your support, we are sharing the hope we have with many others who are yet to embrace hope. You too can become a part of this initiative today. Send your contribution of any amount to M-Pesa paybill number 933933. Account name Friends of Hope. For more information regarding Friends of Hope, please email friendsofhope@hopefm.org or SMS FOH to 20933. Join Friends of Hope today. Friends of Hope, keeping hope alive. Another quality service from Christ is the answer. Did you know the Friends of Hope is an initiative of Hope Media? Through this initiative, we are able to partner with others who are keen to ensure that we keep hope alive. Through your support, we are sharing the hope we have with many others who are yet to embrace hope. You too can become a part of this initiative today. Send your contribution of any amount to M-Pesa paybill number 933933. Account name Friends of Hope. For more information regarding Friends of Hope, please email friendsofhope@hopefm.org or SMS FOH to 20933. Join Friends of Hope today. Friends of Hope, keeping hope alive. Another quality service from Christ is the answer. Did you know the Friends of Hope is an initiative of Hope Media? Through this initiative, we are able to partner with others who are keen to ensure that we keep hope alive. Through your support, we are sharing the hope we have with many others who are yet to embrace hope. You too can become a part of this initiative today. Send your contribution of any amount to M-Pesa paybill number 933933. Account name Friends of Hope. For more information regarding Friends of Hope, please email friendsofhope@hopefm.org or SMS FOH to 20933. Join Friends of Hope today. Friends of Hope, keeping hope alive. Another quality service from Christ is the answer. Did you know the Friends of Hope is an initiative of Hope Media? Through this initiative, we are able to partner with others who are keen to ensure that we keep hope alive. Through your support, we are sharing the hope we have with many others who are yet to embrace hope. You too can become a part of this initiative today. Send your contribution of any amount to M-Pesa paybill number 933933. Account name Friends of Hope. For more information regarding Friends of Hope, please email friendsofhope@hopefm.org or SMS FOH to 20933. Join Friends of Hope today. Friends of Hope, keeping hope alive. Another quality service from Christ is the answer. Did you know the Friends of Hope is an initiative of Hope Media? Through this initiative, we are able to partner with others who are keen to ensure that we keep hope alive. Through your support, we are sharing the hope we have with many others who are yet to embrace hope. You too can become a part of this initiative today. Send your contribution of any amount to M-Pesa paybill number 933933. Account name Friends of Hope. For more information regarding Friends of Hope, please email friendsofhope@hopefm.org or SMS FOH to 20933. Join Friends of Hope today. Friends of Hope, keeping hope alive. Another quality service from Christ is the answer.
Music from Pastor William McDowell, playing right here on Hope FM Listen and Leave. He is our Artist of the Week here on Breath of Heaven. And overall, William McDowell is a highly respected gospel artist known for his anointed worship music, powerful performances, and his dedication to leading people into a deeper encounter with God through music. 12 minutes past 8. Welcome to the second hour of Breath of Heaven. Tonight, we are focusing on matters to do with consumer rights, your rights as a consumer of services and products. You might have encountered a situation where your rights have been violated, and especially when you were seeking for goods or even services. Tonight, you have an opportunity to ask those questions that you may be having in our legal clinic. And tonight, we have Advocate Perry Kegode, who will be looking at those questions. Go ahead and send them to 20933 or WhatsApp on 0717 400 555. We are live on Facebook as well as on YouTube and on X regarding this subject of the day. And so, Bwana Wakili, let's carry on with more of this conversation, and getting to learn a lot, especially when it comes to what my rights are as a consumer, and in case I see any violation, what I need to do. We have covered a bit, and I'd like us to also look at some of the sectors where consumers have really been complaining about their rights being violated. You could mention some of them, not specifically the name of the brand, but the industries, the sectors of the economy where most Kenyans have been complaining.
Yes. Just carrying on with the conversation, a lot of the complaints that we have seen, research has shown that majority, when it comes to manufacturing, the manufacturing industry, there is little to no consideration or control or oversight, so to speak, when it comes to the guarantee of the quality of goods that are manufactured. So that is one of the sectors that I feel that we need to shift our energy to. And then we have seen an increase of complaints when it comes to the medical field, and for whatever reason it may be maybe an unqualified person dealing with you, or maybe the services that you got may not be at par or as is supposed to be offered, and a majority of the time, the complainants may not be aware as to how do they escalate those issues. So I think I'll want to tell the listeners that in as much as there is the competition authority, there are several acts and legislations that have been passed by Parliament that have been directed to specific professions that will enable them to self-regulate. So that, for example, if you come to the lawyers, if you have a complaint with regard to our services, you don't go to the competition authority, you go to the law society. If you have a dispute or an issue with services that were offered in a hospital, you don't go to the competition authority, you go to the medical and medical doctors and practitioners board. Those are the bodies that have been bequeathed with jurisdiction to handle and hear, determine, and give enforcement orders on a need to be basis. So it is. I'll want to say that it's important to know that if you're dealing with a service, you have to identify the type of service that you're getting, and then get to know who then regulates this profession, and go and make your complaint there. So it's I think that maybe answers the question. Yeah.
And in addition to that, now I know we have made it a good thing to ensure that the public is informed regarding matters to do with their rights, their consumer rights and protection and all that. So I want to find out, since the inception of the laws governing this whole area, have there been any developments? Have there been any changes or some slight improvements in matters to do with consumer protection?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. As I earlier on stated, since 2010, when the Constitution was promulgated, and consequently, together with the Competition Act, a lot of lessons have been learned, and through the transactions that have been going on, both in Kenya and globally, we can all appreciate that we are shifting, be it how we trade or how we offer our services. So I'll want to say that we have seen the legislature has been alive to the fact that the consumer protection laws need to be amended to properly align with the ever-changing dynamics of the society. So that has been done by a bill that has been, it's currently sponsored by the woman representative for Vihiga. And basically, in a nutshell, the Consumer Protection Bill seeks, number one, I remember I said initially, our laws have given, has placed the burden of proof on us. So that if I say that you have sold me 900 grams of sugar instead of 1 kilogram, I have to prove as the consumer. But now we have seen a pragmatic shift where the bill wants to take that responsibility from the consumer, because they are not the manufacturers or producers of those goods, and they want to take it to the suppliers, so that if you supply your goods or services you have to give a guarantee that the goods and or services that you offering are fit for purpose. They're not the advertisement is not misleading, and there is an element of forced warranties. I know a lot of consumers, me included, we have gone to several shops where you get your electronics, and at the bottom of the receipt, you'll see it has been printed out in bold that goods once sold are not returned. So you cannot, if you leave with it, with the goods from that shop, so irrespective of what may have happened or the defect that it has, you'll find that the consumer may have limited powers as to what they can do. So this Consumer Protection Amendment Bill has given a timeline, has forced everyone, once it's promulgated to law, it will then force all the suppliers to give a 7-day warranty. You see, so that if I buy something from your shop, I have a period of 7 days to ascertain the quality of that good. And I think that is a big win. That is one of the things that we from the legal sector think that it's a shift towards the right direction. Because when you see that, then the stakes have been raised by the to the consumer, to the producers and the manufacturers. So that will force them to come up with a robust mechanism of checks, quality assurances, and all other measures, so that at the end of the day, the product that comes out has to be fit for consumption. So we anticipate to see less of these defective goods, goods that have been dumped, because we know for a fact that once in a while you may get goods that may not be certified to be sold in one jurisdiction. They may be dumped over here, and a consumer may buy thinking, not knowing that in fact this good is not fit for purpose. So I think once that Consumer Amendment Bill comes into law, we shall see a heightened form of oversight when it, in as far as consumer protection is concerned. Yes.
It's good that you've mentioned matters to do with warranties and what you would call guarantees when we buy the products, or we're seeking to buy a product or even services. And now comes the issue of online purchases. I think we had alluded to that in our other conversation we had somewhere. Somebody wants to buy a service, or not even a service, a certain product, an electronic, online. They use this huge platform, but there are several shops they're in, but there is a platform that gives this shoppers, or not shoppers, shoppers an opportunity to see the product that they like, and then they actually place it in the online cart, and finally they get the product. And then what you ordered vis-a-vis what was delivered, you find out that there are discrepancies. So where do you lodge your complaint?
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly. And one of the biggest, the motivators that the woman representative said that informed her to come up with this amendment was an experience, a personal experience that she had with one of the leading online shops in Kenya, where she paid for goods in advance. And once the goods were delivered to her, it was later on realized that what she ordered was totally different from what was delivered to her in terms of the make, quality, and she really had a very difficult time trying to get a refund from the said platform. So the Consumer Protection Amendment Bill will then force these online platforms, and it is one of the proposed amendments that should be that will come into force, for them to change their terms and conditions in as far as they engage with the consumers. Because as it is now, a majority of them will just say that, hey, we are not the suppliers, and we neither own these shops, as we just offer a platform where goods can be purchased online. So whatever you get is between you and whoever sold that good, you see. But now, if this bill passes as it is, then it will force these online platforms to bear the responsibility. So it will be incumbent upon them to ensure that the people who set up, or the prospective dealers who will be setting up shops within their platform, are in fact certified, and they deal with goods that have gone through a rigorous quality assurance. And then within that agreement between the online platform and the consumer, they will be included that guarantee, the 7-day, so that in case of anything, you will be at liberty to return those goods. So they won't have that option of saying that goods once sold are not returnable. Yes, and I think that's a win. Yes.
Now let's before we now look at the particular punishment that can be meted upon that unscrupulous business person, I'd like to find out. There's somebody who is already asking a question here. I wanted to find out the difference between COFEC and Competition Authority when it comes to the enforcers, when it comes to matters, complaints regarding consumer rights.
Okay, when you look at COFEC, look at COFEC not as a government entity. COFEC is a lobby, sort of like a lobby, so to speak, organization that voices concerns, and it liaises hand in hand with the Competition Authority and all the other government institutions, so that for the sole reason of ensuring that the consumer protection laws are in fact enforced, and they give proposals, because COFEC as a private institution and not affiliated directly with the government has that mandate, just like me and you, to offer suggestions to the government on a need-be basis. So when you look at COFEC as an institution that really champions the rights of consumers. And when you look at the Competition Authority, look at the Competition Authority as the body that has been bequeathed the authority of enforcing the consumer protection rights and regulations that we have in Kenya. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. We are still going on with this conversation. Very, very interesting. Consumer rights. In case you haven't heard of that, well, tonight we have an opportunity for you even to share your questions. You have a question regarding what we are discussing tonight, what has to do with consumer rights. Go ahead and text us on 20933, or you could WhatsApp on 0717 400 555 as we carry on with this conversation.
Hope FM exists to know God and to make Him known.
Did you know the Friends of Hope is an initiative of Hope Media? Through this initiative, we are able to partner with others who are keen to ensure that we keep hope alive. Through your support, we are sharing the hope we have with many others who are yet to embrace hope. You too can become a part of this initiative today. Send your contribution of any amount to M-Pesa paybill number 933933. Account name Friends of Hope. For more information regarding Friends of Hope, please email friendsofhope@hopefm.org or SMS FOH to 20933. Join Friends of Hope today. Friends of Hope, keeping hope alive. Another quality service from Christ is the answer. Did you know the Friends of Hope is an initiative of Hope Media? Through this initiative, we are able to partner with others who are keen to ensure that we keep hope alive. Through your support, we are sharing the hope we have with many others who are yet to embrace hope. You too can become a part of this initiative today. Send your contribution of any amount to M-Pesa paybill number 933933. Account name Friends of Hope. For more information regarding Friends of Hope, please email friendsofhope@hopefm.org or SMS FOH to 20933. Join Friends of Hope today. Friends of Hope, keeping hope alive. Another quality service from Christ is the answer. Did you know the Friends of Hope is an initiative of Hope Media? Through this initiative, we are able to partner with others who are keen to ensure that we keep hope alive. Through your support, we are sharing the hope we have with many others who are yet to embrace hope. You too can become a part of this initiative today. Send your contribution of any amount to M-Pesa paybill number 933933. Account name Friends of Hope. For more information regarding Friends of Hope, please email friendsofhope@hopefm.org or SMS FOH to 20933. Join Friends of Hope today. Friends of Hope, keeping hope alive. Another quality service from Christ is the answer.
With Advocate Perry Kigodi, who is giving us great insights regarding your consumer rights. Do you know them? And so far we are learning, we're learning a lot. Keep listening, and in case you have a question or a comment, you're always welcome to share with us on 20933, WhatsApp on 0717 400 555, and we'll get to those questions. Right now, though, Bwana Wakili, we'll look at now probably what now stands as the punishment for any unscrupulous business person out there who has gone ahead to deny the consumer what is rightful to them at that particular time, whenever how the process goes, and they have been found, like the one you had shared regarding one of the leading supermarkets that has gone down. And there are many other who are flouting the consumer rights law here and there. So what happens to them if they are found culpable? They can be punished. Yeah,
that's true.
Yes.
So the kind of punishment that will be meted to someone who flaunts the consumer laws depends on the veracity of the breach. So that if, for example, if it's a simple thing, like a case in point where there was that simple resolution where an admission was made, it was a simple error. It can be anywhere from 5,000 shillings to more than 1 million, depending on the industry and the extent of the breach, and the complaints, the severity of the complaint that has been brought. So, and I think that the reason why maybe the suppliers, so to speak, may really find it easy on them is because the punishment, and that is just my personal opinion, may not really be commensurate to the offense. Because assuming for example, the issue that we just spoke about, where I went to to that supermarket, bought this, and yes, there was a resolution, and then you just pay me, I get a refund, and you give me an extra, say, 5,000 or so. Is that really worth my time? You see, or the consumer's time? So I think one of the things that the legislature needs to look at, and I'm happy to say that they're really doing that from the proposed bill, is the punishment. Because if you put the punishment high or severe, then you make the risk to be even high, so that nobody would want to risk paying a hefty fine or revocation of their license. Yes.
Thank you for clarifying on that. And so there are different questions here from listeners who would want to get more understanding even as we'll be carrying on. I know there are areas that you will touch on even as we carry on, saying, can I return a product or get a refund if I change my mind about a purchase? Can I return a product or get a refund if I change my mind about a certain purchase?
Okay, as it is, changing your mind without really giving a reason is not something that can be debatable as such, but looking at it strictly, and I know of a case through my reading where the competition authority actually mandated one of the online betting companies to refund an individual's deposit because that individual sent money to their pay bill number with the intention of placing a bet. And in between, before the bet was placed, the individual decided to withdraw and say that I no longer want to participate. So let me get my 5,000 shillings back, and we call it a done deal. And the company refused initially, and when the case was escalated to the competition authority, the monies were successfully refunded as a result of that. He just didn't want to bet. He decided and said, I no longer want to do this, so you give me my money. Because they refused and said, you have to play with this money. Once you deposit it, you have to place a bet. So on exceptional circumstances, you can definitely do that. And just to ride on that, as consumers, if you remember my initial opening remarks, where I said that enforcement of our consumer rights starts with us as the consumers. So where you go to get your services or goods really matter. Because I know a case in point, or again one of these leading supermarkets, they are really, so to speak, self-regulatory. So one of their terms and conditions when you go to make a purchase with them, they tell you that you can buy these appliance or these things depending on what you're buying, and you are at liberty. You can stay with it within 7 days, even before these regulations come into force. So if you feel as though you don't want to purchase this, you return, and we will either give you your money back, or you can change to another product. So when it comes to getting such premium services in terms of compliance, we need to identify the service providers that are fully compliant and who can really give you that guarantee. Yes.
Also interesting, I see a listener here wanting to find out, how can I ensure that I'm not being overcharged or exploited by businesses? How can I ensure?
I would say that is a bit tricky because it may depend. Because remember, initially I said that when it comes to businesses and professions, the law has given the said professions the liberty to set up their own rules and regulations. So before you decide or you make a decision of going to get a service from, say, company X or hospital Y, then you have to do your own due diligence, because saying that you have been overcharged, save for the sectors where regulation is high, like in the petroleum sector, where the rules are clear, you can't sell above these. If you sell above these, then that becomes an offense. Save for that, there is very little that you can do, so that because there is that assumption that you have the option of going to, say, hospital X, which is cheaper or close to free, as opposed to going to hospital Y, which is, of course, expensive. Yes. Yes.
That helps the listener. Let me check another one here as we carry on. This one saying, what can I do if I face misleading or deceptive advertising? You know, the advertising goes like this, but you know, the product in and of itself does not match up to that advert.
Definitely. And that is another mandate that the competition authority has for misleading. It is normally called misleading advertisement. So if you find that what has been advertised is not what you got, you have the locus of approaching the competition authority and lodging a complaint. And upon investigation, after investigations have been conducted, and in fact that company has been found to be culpable, then sufficient remedial actions are issued. And there are several decisions in support of that. So misleading advertisement is totally unacceptable. Yeah.
Right. That helps. And another one here. How can I protect myself from scams or fraudulent practices as a consumer? How do I protect myself from scams or fraudulent practices as a consumer? We see that happening a lot, even through social media. Somebody sends you a message, an inbox, tells you this and that regarding a certain product or a service. How can I protect myself?
Yeah, definitely. The first thing that my philosophy is that you do not pay, number one, in advance. So if you want to make sure that you're properly protected in terms of your money, because you don't want money to be parted from you without you getting those goods or services, you have to make sure that you're dealing with an accredited person, and that is where another reason why the owners comes back to us. So if I identify something and I want to purchase it, it is always recommended that you meet at a central place where that the verification of those goods can be done, and upon your satisfaction as a buyer, you can then release the money to that person. But another thing, we have to be very careful, and even some of these online platforms are very, very clear when it comes to that. Before you decide to make a transaction with an individual, you have to be very, very sure and clear that these products the product is actually free for sale, and it in fact belongs to them. So to answer the listener's question, I would say if you want to protect yourself, then at the very least deal with accredited buyers, suppliers. We just call them suppliers of goods and services. Don't deal with individuals, and if you need to deal with individuals, then extra precaution has to be taken. Because you can imagine, if you have a complaint against someone who has scammed you, so where will you get them? So it even becomes a criminal matter. It shifts then to the police for them to do investigations. So I hope that answers the question. Yeah.
Well, questions are still revolving around this, and this one here saying, can I cancel a contract or agreement if I feel that I have been coerced or misled into it?
Yeah, definitely, depending on the I would say the terms of the agreement. If, for example, it's an agreement for purchase of a product, I'm assuming, you are at liberty to rescind or to say that you don't want to proceed with a sale for whatever reason that may be there. Because remember, for example, I just gave you a scenario where a gentleman was declared to be to be in the right when he decided to rescind his decision not to spend his money with a certain company. So you're at liberty, because if you bring a product and I find out that what you advertised is not what you're bringing, or the product is defective, in as much as we may have an agreement with you, I am still at liberty of saying, and that one is even a condition pegged in law, for us to say that this agreement cannot be, we cannot proceed with it. Yes.
All right, thank you for that. Let me check one more here. This is from, I think it's Edward Kisiuli. You're in Kawangware, and you say, how can I confirm small quantities of consumables like salad, kerosene, which I buy and is usually measured using containers which are not calibrated or transparent?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question, and for this, I'll take you back to briefly. I don't know whether you remember the era of Moi, when he came into power, and one of the things that he used to do, they were literally officers who were paid by the government, and their work was to walk around and confirm and check all the equipment that are being used by the suppliers, the various suppliers in Kenya, so that if they find that you have tampered, a lot of shopkeepers used to put a magnet. Remember those, the weighing scales that used to, exactly. So some of them will just stick a very small magnet behind under the machine, so that if you immediately it senses that it's going down, it will just be attracted, and you'll assume that your goods are properly calibrated and are of right quantity. But for whatever reason, that changed. But for now, what you can do, if you say, for example, you want to go and buy a liter or half a liter, or I'm assuming the Kadogo economy just want to get 100 millimeters of cooking salad, we can use the existing bottles that we have, where you just go purchase. If you have a bottle that is calibrated, you can always ensure that what is being dispensed is equal to what is there. And one of the reasons, as I finalize on that point, why that the gentleman will be covered in future, is because you can see now the onus has shifted to the person who is supplying. So it will be incumbent upon them to ensure that what is being dispensed to me or to the average consumer is in fact correct. So that I'm assuming in future the enforcement mechanism will be robust enough to enable the normal consumer feel the difference, because this is a general concern. If you look at it, it is a fear that is widespread. Yes. And we can't run away from the reality that in fact there are some people who still play around with those machines in a bid of maximizing their profits. So I'm just hoping that in future we are going to cover ourselves when it comes to such issues, so that I shouldn't worry about that. Let the shopkeeper worry about that. Yes.
Thank you for clarifying that. And so, probably as we crown it all, you would want to give us a bit of a summary of what we've discussed tonight, and then your concluding thoughts. Probably there's something we didn't touch on, and you feel it is very, very important for the listener, who is also a consumer, to know as we conclude this particular session.
I think I'll sum up by saying that Kenya has come from far, and in as far as the laws and the regulations, we have more than enough. It's actually, we have enough. So what we need to do is just to refine and work on the laws, the existing laws that we have, so that they can properly align with the ever-changing dynamics of the country. And then number two, I always insist, and I'll continuously preach that when it comes to consumer protection, the owners will start with me as the consumer. You have to stand up for your right. Don't be afraid, because when you're going to get goods or services from a supplier, you're paying for those goods, and it is your right to demand and say that I don't want you to weigh that kilogram of sugar behind that counter. Please just put that weighing scale over here where we can all see that in fact this is a kilogram of sugar. And Kenyans will be so surprised that if you say that, nothing will happen. Those guys will just comply, because there'll be no reason for them to resist, because it will raise even more questions. So don't be afraid. Know that it's you against the suppliers. So make sure that you're properly aware. Spread the information, because dissemination is one of the biggest issues, and we should always endeavor to buy from accredited suppliers of goods and services, because if you get from a supplier who is not accredited, it may even become a challenge for you to seek remedial claims in the unfortunate event if something happens. So those will be the three things that I'll want us to take home. And I know as we continually move on, the system will continuously mop out these illegal industries, and that is what is causing one. Because I was fortunate enough one day to walk in Kariobangi, and I came across a case, an unfortunate case where someone was hurt severely, a child, as a result of consuming a drink that was counterfeit. Yes, that was a counterfeit drink. It was cheap, but it was manufactured in those weird, dingy industries. And when you talk to the family and you want to maybe assist, you find that it may become difficult, because if you look at the product and where it was purchased and the circumstances under which they came to possess it, it was questionable from the word go. So this is not an accredited person. Things are manufactured in houses, and you don't even know where to begin. Yes. Yeah.
Wow, it's been an educative and eye-opening session here, as we've been learning matters to do with consumer rights. Probably somebody would like to get in touch with you, and how can they get in touch with you? Are you on social media, or which way would you deem fit for them to reach out to you?
Definitely. You can get in touch with us, with me, through our physical address. Our law firm, Agimba and Associates, is located along Riara Road, on a building called Riara Corporate Suites. We are on our first floor, suite 107, and our telephone number is 0706 232 682. And in case you want to shoot us an email, our email address is info@agimba-advocates.co.ke. That is the easiest way of getting in touch with us. And you can also call us if you want us to come to you. We are flexible enough. Yes.
I really appreciate this session that we've had with you, Bwana Wakili, and looking forward to more, because I know we can learn a lot when it comes to matters to do with the law. And yeah, we'll be better placed to see how we can deal with issues that we face on a daily, from family law, or matters to do with consumer rights, and so on and so forth.
Exactly. Thank you too for hosting me, and I'm so humbled to be here.
You're most welcome.
Yes.
All right, and send our love to the rest of the friends there at the farm.
Yeah, first of all, like to send a huge shout out. I know they have logged in. Everyone is listening.
Yes.
To our managing partner, that is Anna Gimba, and Moriah, Clive. I know everyone is tuned in. Farida, and Fanis. Yes. Oh, of course, not forgetting Leah, our money bag. Yes, so a big shout out to everyone, and to the listeners and the viewers. I want to send out my deepest appreciation for tuning in, and I look forward to engaging with you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, that's just about it in this session of the Legal Clinic. And tonight we hosted Advocate Perry Kigodi, and he's been instrumental in these matters to do with consumer rights. And God willing, next month we're going to have yet another session just like this. Well, in the coming hour, we have reflections, and we also have what we call our prayer time here on Breath of Heaven. Keep it right here, even as we journey along on the From the Scriptures segment.
Breath of Heaven.
And that today we don't say thank you to God. There are some things that we have not seen that He's done for us.